For me, yes, I would like to find out from Tom. Like for a woman, what age limits do you recommend for someone not to give birth? Is it supposed to be between 20 to 40 or what? I don't know. Because we have, I think, some information regarding that. When you go to the hospital, especially in here in Zambia, we were told that if you reach 35, the highest you could go is maybe up to 38. Beyond that, you wouldn't even conceive, or if you conceived, your child may not be as healthy, you know. So I would like to find out from you the best age range to for somebody to conceive, or if they went above 35, can they conceive? Is it okay for them to conceive after 35 or so?
I believe it's okay for
What's
them to
the
conceive.
age, maybe, in other words?
Yeah, I believe it's good for them to conceive at any age that they can conceive. So I don't think we need to put a limit on it. I have, clients that conceived at 42, 43, and they have the healthiest babies I know. The limiting factor would be the accumulation of toxins throughout
Mhm.
their life, but you can get rid of about 90% of toxins you can get rid of in a 9-month period.
Easy, and I've done it.
I would tell those women for this 9 months, um, you know, eat properly, don't put toxins into your body, and then allow your organs to naturally, to
Yeah.
release those toxins. And those are like mercury, lead, aluminum, that sort of thing. And then chemicals like that come in birth control. So many birth control, have chemicals, and then you can use herbs to release those out. So once you release all that, and the environmental toxins, so the pesticides, the herbicides, the fungicides, stuff like glyphosate that's being sprayed on the crops. So once that is
And
eliminated,
Monitor, like from on the Burger King and McDonald's stuff, like that Monitor pesticide is awful.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
then the woman will be able to conceive. And with proper supplements, food, hydration, the stuff that Susan and I talk about, Jody,
All good. People call me Susan at some point in time.
the stuff that we talk about, they're gonna have a great pregnancy, and they're gonna have a painless birth.
So I want to add to that,
That's
Tom.
key.
There's two things. One, my sister had her last child at age 45,
Wow.
and yeah, and she, always ate chemical free food. Number two, these three photos on the screen here are all me. So as a bodybuilder, misdiagnosed, gained over 100 some odd pounds, and of course reclaimed my health. I didn't really diet. What I did was I got rid of all the toxins.
Is this you?
They're all me.
The one in the middle is
They're all me. So I was a bodybuilder. I used to bench 185 and then was misdiagnosed having schizophrenia and bipolar disorder because I complained of pain. What really was happening was I was exposed to genetically modified food, and it was wreaking havoc with my emotional health. Not to mention the toxic water I was drinking and showering in, which is critically important not to shower in toxic water. And so when I fell down at work in the parking lot and I tore my rotator cuff, they said the pain I had, without doing an x ray, I might add, was all in my head, and that I should go see a psychiatrist. And so now I work with mental health practitioners to explain to them that, you need to look beyond, your imagination, look beyond your opinion, but do a blood test, do a spec scan, look at the diet. Why are people having emotional issues? Well, you have to look at what they're consuming, what's in their environment, what's the 5G, what's all the, electrosmog doing to their brain and their blood. And, you know, if I can reclaim my health, and I was in this middle picture for 2 decades, anybody can reclaim their health. It's all a choice in the matter. And getting rid of these toxins, I did that in 6 months.
Wow.
6 months.
I,
And yeah. Well, I mean, but the thing is, it's what I'm trying to say is what Tom is saying is not hard. You just have to make conscious choices about your food, your water, and especially your personal care and home care items, because those are so laden with toxins. Everything that he and I promote and advocate for are plant-based.
Yes.
Right. And plant-based without chemicals, meaning they didn't spray it with glyphosate or monitor. What they've done to the potatoes is really scary.
yes, organic, but how do you manage organic foods in this environment where we have, food with a lot of chemicals?
Yes.
You have food with a lot of fertilizer and all that. I don't know. How do you manage?
So here's the answer to that. And I'm sure Tom has a lot to contribute as well. But what I'll say is, one, you have to learn how to grow your own food. Okay. Number two, I'm going to be within the week doing a video, and we're going to teach people for free how to muscle test, how to access consciousness, how to access the divine, and muscle test everything, meaning they can muscle test their food and know whether or not it's chemical free or not. Okay. And it's going to be free on my YouTube channel. And because God came to me and said, it's his children's right to hear him. And it's his children's right to have access to clean water, clean food. And so we are going to teach you for free how to know whether or not something has toxins in it. And then I'm going to go to the next step, and I'm going to teach about prayer and how you can pray for your food so that you can actually change the DNA. And there's evidence to show that this works when you look at Dr. Emoto's water experiment and how you can actually shift the energy and the DNA of your water or your food. And so people just need to know how to self-heal and have access to that consciousness so they can choose appropriately. And I will also say they don't have to eat organic. What they have to eat is responsibly produced. Okay. Yeah. So yes, because there is no such thing as organic. As long as we have rain and wind, there is no organic. Okay.
Coming through polluted air.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So I know Tom has something he wants to add. Go ahead.
I'll add this. It's very easy to say grow your own food, and it's very hard to grow your own food.
Easily.
So
yeah.
I grow sprouts. So I sprout my own sprouts. But what I would say to you is that what I have done as example, then I will express to you, is I've found people that are experts at growing food, right?
Yeah.
Those people, I wouldn't go to them and say, can you write me an article for People magazine? Because they're not journalists. They grow food, but you're a journalist. So you can go to that person's expert in growing food on a small level and say, I would like you to grow me food. In exchange, I'll pay you money, but I'll also use my journalistic skills to promote your farm to other people. I'll write articles, I'll get the word out, and we'll create a community, because that is what I can contribute and what I have skills that are as important as your food growing skills. Because no matter how much, I'm not an expert in cucumbers. I'd rather go and have my cucumber grown by the expert. And then
I grew my first cucumber. I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah. And then I'll invite, and for me, it's like I get invited to parties, and then my farmer enjoys going to parties that he would never get invited to. So I invite him, and it's like I opened up a door for him that he didn't have access to, and he opens up a door for me to food. So it's like, I would like to tell people, find the expert in your area and help them achieve an abundance of crops, that they have so much food that they are willing to give you they're closest to organic, right, healthy, local food, because food really does. It's really undervalued. Like when somebody goes to the doctor with a lifestyle issue, they say this chemical can cure your lifestyle issue. The doctors are never going to backtrack and say, well, how many Diet Cokes did you drink today? And find out, well, you had 2 Diet Cokes, your lunch was a hot dog, your dinner was a hamburger, and you ate Doritos and Pop-Tarts, and we have kids that go to school and they eat a Pop-Tart and a chocolate Frosty, and then we wonder why they're not producing in the classroom. But that's on all levels, from infants that are getting Pop-Tarts through their moms to the elderly. It's just a complete disconnect that our food is about fuel. It's not about flavor. So I don't.
Yes,